Cyberpunk 2077 has probably been the most anticipated game of the last 5 years, and maybe even ever, if I'm being honest. You know, I've seen hype for games before, like Modern Warfare 3 I remember was probably the most hyped up Call of Duty game, GTA 5 for obvious reasons, Halo 3, Red Dead Redemption 2, and The Witcher 3 was also extremely anticipated as well, and there's just been so many games out there, even games I haven't named that have been extremely hyped up and extremely anticipated, but I don't think any of them have even come close to the amount of hype surrounding Cyberpunk 2077. Ever since the success of Witcher 3, CDProjekt Red has become something like a shining beacon of hope in gaming, and they've been coveted as the one gaming company out there that respects your money and really gives you value for your dollar and creates very high quality games. Now, when you combine this reputation with the extremely ambitious nature of Cyberpunk, the game has reached insanely high levels of unrealistic expectations set by a lot of people. And it's one of those situations where it just can't ever live up to those expectations, no matter what CDProjekt Red does with Cyberpunk, and it's probably going to let some people down no matter what. But the game is out now, and I've played around 45 hours so far and still haven't finished the main quest yet just because I've been doing so many of the side missions and side quests and really trying to get the full experience. You know, I didn't want to rush through a game like this. It's something we've been waiting 7 years for, and I wanted to just kind of soak it all in and not just blow through it. And I'll be completely honest with you guys, I love this game. It's phenomenal in my opinion. It's got a fantastic world, great characters and side quests, an incredible presentation, and is probably the most immersive game I've ever played. I seriously love this game. But I'm very well aware that not everyone is having a good time with the game. In fact, a lot of people are having a terrible time with the game, and it's unacceptable. For one, I'm on PC, and on PC, generally speaking, we're having a completely different experience than console players. And even PC isn't perfect, and I'll get into that in a minute, but when you compare PC to console right now, I mean, it's not even comparable, so you shouldn't even compare it because the experience is night and day different. This game on console is not good, and I feel bad for anybody who's been having a rough experience with it on console. I think I now completely understand all the delays with this game because I'm sure they've kept delaying it because they just couldn't get the game to run at all on last gen, or at least run well. And I think that all the delays have been because of last gen, and I think two things should have happened. Either they should have canceled the last gen version, or they should have delayed this game a lot longer until it could be perfect on last gen, but I just don't know if that was possible. Again, I just think overall they probably shouldn't have released this on last gen. Because right now, it barely runs. I mean, it looks like an Xbox 360 game for one thing, and even worse than that at times. And it reaches probably 20 frames per second on average, which is borderline unplayable in a first-person shooter game. And overall, it's extremely scummy to release a game in this state, no matter the excuse, and it should have been delayed again, or never released for last gen at all. And I mean, we don't give Bethesda a pass for Fallout 76, or Ubisoft a pass when they release something like Ghost Recon Breakpoint. So I don't think we should give CDProjekt Red a pass either for the state of this game at launch. Now, all that being said, the game is fantastic on PC in my opinion, but like I said, it isn't perfect either and has plenty of bugs. Like one where after a cutscene, I was locked inside of a room because the open door prompt had disappeared, so I had to reload my save. My key bindings change if I load a save or die and respawn. And I've had around 4 crashes all in the same part of the map just outside of Misty's place. And a few other smaller bugs that I'm generally okay with, but still would have liked if they didn't exist. But the game for the most part has ran extremely smooth for me after the first 6 hours. The first 6 hours they were definitely rough, but after that the game has had very little problems and consistently stays around 90 frames per second for me on high settings. Others have been having way more issues than me, and some other people have had way less issues than me, and it's kind of just a mixed bag and a complete gamble on what experience you're going to have with this game. But I'd be lying if I said I've had a bad experience with this game. I've had some serious bugs that are unexcusable, but the majority of my experience with this game has been very positive. I have really been enjoying this game, much more than I thought I would, and the world is seriously the most immersive world I've ever explored, and at times I feel like I genuinely get lost in the city because it's so big and full of things to do or explore. And the world building is really what sells it for me. I mean, you've got things like news broadcasts on the radio or TVs inside the elevators that do a really great job of showing what the state of the world is, talking about the current political sphere or problems going on in the world or the city. The characters and your relationships with them feel genuinely real, and you communicate with them outside of quests through phone calls, and then those characters connect to each other somehow through other quest lines, and man, it's crazy how much there is going on and how immersed I am in this world while playing. The side missions, just like Witcher 3, steal the show here in Cyberpunk. I mean, the main plot is good and is interesting enough for sure, but it's all about the side content. I mean, it's just so high quality. I love doing the side missions and the side characters, and man, I'm having such a good time with this game. It's hard not to praise this game because of all the problems. People want to focus on the negatives, and I am 100% understandable of that, but the game itself, when it works, which for me has been more often than not, it's been amazing. Night City itself is beautiful, and again on PC, I think this is the best looking game out there right now. It looks so good walking through the streets or inside of a bar or a club or anywhere. Even in the open landscape in the outskirts of the city is extremely beautiful as well. The game is just gorgeous to look at. But I think where the game kind of falters, in my opinion, is the gameplay. I think it's kind of boring, and it just feels like a Fallout game in terms of first-person shooting gunplay. Maybe a little bit more polished than Fallout, but the abilities and things are good, but not as useful as I would have thought they would have been, and just the gunplay is just kind of underwhelming. And the RPG customization of the gunplay is also good, but not great. I just found that stealthy gunplay was kind of the name of the game for me, and I enjoyed doing that, trying to get one-shot kills to the head on the enemies and stuff like that, and kind of sneaking around, just because the gunplay is so average, I would say. But like I said, I'm not even done with the game yet because I've been doing so much side content, and I'm really loving it, and I'll probably take a while to finish it. It's an incredible game when it works, and I feel lucky that it's worked so well for me, but so far it seems that PC is really the only place you're going to get that experience at the moment. I mean, even next-gen consoles are running the last-gen versions, just upscaled a bit through backwards compatibility, and it's a real shame that this is the reality of the game right now, because I think this game is so good. It just sucks that this is the state at launch. Gaming just seems to let me down more and more these days. Like, games just don't work, and man, everyone expected CDProjekt Red to nail this. I mean, how could they have fucked this up? But the launch is not in a good state for a lot of people. Personally, I'm having a great time, but I know that doesn't mean other people are having a great time too. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts about the game, which version you've played, if you've had any issues. Again, I'm still loving the game after 45 hours and can't wait to finish it. I plan on making another video, maybe a final review of the game or something, but for now, I just wanted to make this video to get my general thoughts out on the state of Cyberpunk right now. It's such a good game, but it's definitely been tainted by bugs and a terrible, terrible console launch that definitely ruins a lot of CD Projekt's goodwill with players. But anyway, that's all I got for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like if you did, and I will see you all next time.